morning, everyone. We are here at Goats with Horns Animal Sanctuary and Real-Time Rescue. We got Princess Buttercup here, getting some of that undercoat brushed out. And Frankie trying to nibble on the other brush in my pocket. Kind of an up-close thing. I just wanted to pop on this morning and say hello to everybody. We've got kind of some sad news, a little bit of a mystery. We have a missing friend right now, Pretzel. I can't remember specifically if she's ever been on a live stream. Probably. She is one of our chickens that lives here with us. So we are a sanctuary out of Arizona, and animal sanctuaries sometimes, take in animals with traumatic pasts or, animals that have been abused. We've had chickens before that were, they had to come here because coyotes moved into their neighborhood and were, attacking them. We've even had a hen who was chained up to use as live bait that came here. And Pretzel was one of the lucky ones. She was born on the property, hatched on the property, and she's been here for probably 8 years or so, maybe longer. So that is an old life for a hen. So we take solace in that. But basically what happened is she disappeared. So sometimes chickens or other animals, when it's their time, when they feel that they're going to die or, something's not right, prey animals try to hide that. They don't often let anybody know until it's too late because, in the wild, they would have to, if they were sick or weak, obviously a predator would get them in that weakened, vulnerable state. So it's just their nature to hide it. And so it's possible she went off deep into a bush somewhere and passed away. We are just not sure. It's also possible that an owl took her because we have not been able to find her body. And I feel as though in the past we usually find them, passed away, like maybe up on the hay or, in a nesting box, in a bush hiding, they don't just disappear like this. We did get flood irrigation yesterday, so it's possible she was just hiding somewhere deep and she will turn up. But she is, I call her Perfect Pretzel. I was kind of joke that she's just an angel. She can do no wrong. She's quite the character. She's always, runs up. She's very demanding for treats, and for her, that's worms. So lately Karen and I both have gotten a couple super silly, cute videos of her. When we open the metal man cave door, she runs in. She's out there waiting. She runs in. She's discovered where we hide the mealworms, or we don't even really hide them. We just store them in there. And she hops up onto that shelf and puts her head all the way in the bag and just eats worms to her heart's content, until we stop her. And actually, in the description box below, we do have a link to our Instagram, and I just posted a video of that just a couple days ago. And it's pretty cute if you want to check her out. But yeah, so Friday morning, she hopped up to try to steal some worms, ran in trying to get to the cat food while Katie was doing the chores. Katie's one of our regular volunteers here. And, like I said, this has been Pretzel's thing for a while. She's gotten a little braver and asking more people for treats and kind of demanding that, hey, if you're not going to feed me, I know where some of this food is kept. So she was in there Friday morning, and then Friday night, Michelle did not see her. We also call her our wild chicken. Excuse me, Frankie, I gotta brush some other friends too. We call her our wild chicken because she's the one who will roost up in the pine tree with the turkeys. She does not go into the coops. Hi, Gilbert, with the other chickens at night. She will on a very rare occasion, but like I said, it's very rare. I'm gonna try to climb through the fence here, see if I can get to anybody else who wants to be brushed, because Frankie will steal my attention all day. We've got lots of friends who might want to be brushed. Let me switch brushes though. Let's see. Hi, Gilbert. Yeah, so she was not there, and then so Saturday morning, yesterday, I was like, oh, this is weird. I haven't seen Pretzel. She's usually right here, wanting attention, wanting treats, wanting breakfast, something. But I was like, okay, whatever. I'll kind of peek around for her later. She maybe she's still asleep, because I did get there yesterday at 5:30 a.m. So it's possible that she was still sleeping, although she usually wakes up before that. Now that it's getting light so early, would you boys stop? Anyway, so there's still no sign of her, so everybody was kind of keeping an eye out, and Michelle checked for her at night. Frankie, you gotta let me brush other friends. You're not the only one shedding, okay? Yesterday night, Michelle checked for her, and still nothing. She even went to go feed her some, she had some old, tortilla chips, and when she comes out to crinkle the bag, Crystal would hear that and come running. They know, oh, so I'm getting a little snack. She did not come, and then this morning, still no sign of her. I also walked the back canal. Hi, Princess. I walked the back canal. I got to come back and get all these clumps of fur. And there was no sign of her. So, like I said, it's kind of a mystery. She's missing. We don't believe she's not one of our birds that goes off to other properties. In the past, there was once an occasion where we thought a hen had been taken by a predator, because she was just gone, and then we found out she was actually just hanging out with the neighbor's chickens. She was just going over there for a few days. Actually, it might have even been a couple weeks. So that was kind of a silly thing. And then we have our turkey. If you've been tuning in lately, you'll see us trying to find the missing turkey when there is one, because they go to roost, to hide a nest somewhere to brood, and so we got to kind of track them down. But Pretzel's not one that does that. So that, and even if she was, like I said, we already checked the bushes and the canal area, so kind of a mystery. But we're 99% certain that she is no longer with us, and it's very sad. But like I said, she did have a great life. She did not go through trauma or abuse. She's always known love. And then another kind of positive thing is that she didn't go through, a bunch of a long, prolonged sickness. She was hopping up, being her little naughty, silly self, trying to steal worms on Friday morning, and then she just disappeared. So sometimes when a chicken gets sick or towards the end of their life, it can be, prolonged, just like with any animal. And it's like, oh no, something's wrong with this animal. They're not acting themselves. Oh, they're sick. Okay, let's get them a vet appointment. Okay, let's see what there is we can do now. Oh no, they're suffering. Let's see, is it time for us to make that decision to have them euthanized? It can be a drawn out thing. So at least we didn't have to deal with that. Hopefully she just, she had her great morning on Friday stealing worms with Katie, and then she just drifted off peacefully and didn't wake up. That's what I'm going with. So that's what's new around here. As you tuned in last week for our secret news, our secret video. Sorry that the camera's kind of all over the place. I wasn't really paying attention. I'm just kind of brushing here. Everybody needs some attention this morning. Last week, our secret video, and I was giving you guys a sneak peek at our newest rescues, Elaine and Sven, the goats. They are still extremely skittish, but they've already filled out a little bit. When they first came, they were extremely emaciated, to the point where we all thought they were babies, but they are not. They're between 4 and 5 years old, the vet estimated. So they're already starting to put on a little bit of healthy weight, and they are becoming slightly less skittish. They still kind of freak out a little bit, understandably so. You know, who knows what kind of things happened to them in the past before they were abandoned and the neighbors stepped in. But I was just in their stall a little bit ago hanging out, and they were both, Sven and Elaine both tried to give me some little nibbles on the fingers. Oh, princess. They're kind of sniffing me, and like I said, gave it a little nibble. And Sarah was here with me this morning, and they were coming up, or Sven was coming up and sniffing her too a bunch of times. So all good signs that they are starting to get acclimated to their new home, and they know they're safe and they don't have to run away quite so quickly from humans, because they're hopefully slowly gaining some trust, and that now that we have not been hurting them, and they can see that okay, these people are feeding me and nothing bad is happening. So that's all great news. So those are our updates for the week. Do a little pan over of everybody. Got a nice flooded field from irrigation. Mr. Chico's beard is looking extra sleek. He obviously just got a drink, and so his beard's all wet, drippy right there. Get a little more brushing done on Gilbert. If you saw last week, I think it was, Gilbert would not let me brush him. They don't get in their moods, just like we do. Sometimes they want to be brushed. Sometimes they're like, no, I don't like that. So got to take advantage, try to get some of this undercoat off of him. I know I said it last time, probably a bunch of times, but I just think it's so interesting how, look, you can see how black his fur is. Look at what comes off. It's just this cottony white undercoat. No matter what color their fur is, it's always the same. So yeah, that's our little updates for now. We do have one other little new rescue. It's a temporary foster kitten, maybe I'll see if I can show you her later. She was abandoned at a local store, just probably between 4 and 5 weeks old. She still needed a bottle. So luckily somebody found her, somebody kind, and was able to get her some help. So now Michelle is taking care of her for a little bit, getting her big and strong enough that she will be able to eventually get fixed and adopted out. So just a little reminder to always adopt, never shop, don't buy from breeders, go to your local rescue. If there's not a shelter near you, there's probably some type of small rescue that maybe does things out of their home, like how Michelle is fostering for an organization. There's all kinds of stuff like that. So just remember, if you love animals, don't go to a breeder, adopt, don't shop. And I hope you guys all have a great week. Thanks for tuning in and keeping our memory of Pretzel alive. Go on Instagram. I'll probably make another post with her soon. When some of the last little pictures and videos I have of her, unless somehow she does turn up. But like I said, at this point, we don't think that's the case. So thanks again, guys, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day.